there from 10 a.m. and by the time I did the x-ray, it was like 2:45. It was a long day. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing fabulous today. Big up, big up, big up. So guys, today I will be talking to you about my medical process for my US spousal visa. I hope you guys watched part 1 where I talked about the entire process, the timeline, the fees, the documents, and all of that. So if you have not watched that, I will leave the link in the description so you can go ahead and check that out. Alright guys, before we get into it though, remember, like the video, share the video, and if you're not already subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for, but please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So just to be clear, because I know persons are watching from different parts of the world and are, going through the process from different parts of the world. So my process is, my husband is an American citizen living in the US and I am a Jamaican. I was living in Jamaica at the time. So as I told you guys in the previous video, I got a medical interview for October 1 and this was at Andrews Memorial. The only place in Jamaica that the embassy allows to do the medical is Andrews Memorial. So if you go a John shop or if you go anywhere else, they will not accept it. All right, you have to schedule that appointment at Andrews Memorial. So in the confirmation email, they had sent me the time, date, cost, which was 24,740 Jamaican dollars at the time, and they recommended you walk with an extra 25 to 30,000 Jamaican dollars just in case you need extra vaccines. Also, they told you the documents that you should carry with you the morning of your medical history form, 4 passport size pictures, your birth certificate, marriage certificate, the DS-260 confirmation page, the email the US Embassy sent to you confirming the date and time of your interview, along with your passport, and of course the money. So the morning I was bright and early for my medical. When I arrived at Andrews, they directed me to the front where I took my temperature. They asked me if I had traveled outside of the island within the last few days. I told them no. If I had any interaction with anyone that came into the island, I told them no. All right, they took my temperature. Once I was good to go, they gave me a wristband and sent me around to the section where they dealt with the US medicals. A big sign is around there telling you that this is the US visa medical section. All right, so because of social distancing, they had like a tent outside with chairs, I guess, so that everybody wouldn't crowd the waiting area on the inside. I went in, told the person at the front my name. He checked it off. I noticed that they have names and different times for different persons. I gave him all the documents I had. He told me to have a seat and wait for my name on the outside. So I was on the outside. I wasn't there for long, a few minutes, before a lady came out, called my name, and took me to her desk. At her desk, she used her laptop webcam to take my picture, and then directed me to another lady who gave me a consent form to sign. She told me to be aware of the spelling of my name to make sure my name was spelled correctly, and then I signed that. She gave me a receipt to pay the $24,740 at the cashier. You can pay either by cash, credit, or debit card. And she also gave me back 3 of my passport size pictures. I had given them 4. They took 1 and gave me back 3. So after I paid, it was time for me to go to the nurse. But me didn't want pee-pee. So I said to her, because we have a urine test to do, I told her that I would like to urinate. And she said to the nurse if I could go upstairs to the other department where they're taking the urine tests, if I could go and do the urine. So the next step after you pay would be to go to the nurse to do your checkup. But for me, I kind of skip that for a little and went upstairs to do my urine. And funny enough, there were girls up there there was a specific girl, she couldn't pee for nothing. She couldn't pee none at all. They have to send her go buy water and everything to try get her to urinate. So I would be mindful of that when you go, you are going to be required to take a urine sample. So if you want to go, just say something to somebody so that you're not there longer than you need to, because maybe you can't go at the time they want you to actually do the sample. All right, so I came back downstairs. I went to the nurse. She put the thing on my arm to take my pressure. She put the thermometer under my arm to take my temperature. Next, I did an eye test. I had to stand against the wall, and there was another wall facing me with a poster, a set of letters. Some are large and they gradually get smaller and smaller. I had to read those for her. I had to cover one eye, the other eye, and then eventually take off my glasses in its entirety and try to read what was there. After that, she took my weight, and that was that. She didn't say anything to me. Everything seemed normal. And then I went back into the waiting area now on the inside to wait for the doctor's examination. All right, so now it's time for the doctor's examination. She came to get me and brought me into her office. I sat down and she proceeded to ask me a few questions like, do you do drugs? If I have ever had any mental issues, illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, things like that. Normal stuff your doctor would ask you. So after the doctor asked me the questions, she directed me to a bed in her office, directed me to take off my top, leaving my bra. Then she took my heart rate, looked inside my ears, both of them, looked inside my eyes. She looked inside my mouth. Then she went ahead and was feeling on my tummy, my lower abdomen, to make sure, I guess, everything was okay with that. And she took note of all the tattoos that I have. Once that examination was done, she directed me to put my top on. Once I did, she told me to sit back down. She asked me if I've ever had chickenpox. I told her no. Then she gave me a receipt where I needed to do 2 shots. So I needed to get the chickenpox vaccine and I needed to get the tetanus vaccine on that day. That was an additional 10,000 Jamaican dollars. 10,000 and little bit. So each was 5,000 and few dollars. In all, so far, I paid approximately 35,000 Jamaican dollars. She directed me to the X-ray section and told me to go ahead and get my X-ray done. I went around to the X-ray section, signed up with the nurse. She told me to wait until a technician was available. Once the technician was available, she came and got me and told me to take off my bra. So I kept my top on and then stand in front of the X-ray machine, and it kind of pressed up against my chest. We had to do it a few times. It was very cold, and what she was looking for, she didn't get it the first time, so she told me to press again. I did it about 3 times, pressing on that machine. It's a big square machine. And yeah, that was the end of that. After doing the X-ray now, I needed to do my blood work. Oh, it's a lot. Look here, I was there from 10 a.m. and by the time I did the X-ray, it was like 2:45. It was a long day. So look here, make sure you carry something to eat, walk with a bottle of water, snacks or so, because it's a long day. So it took up your whole entire day. So it was almost 3 p.m. when I did my X-ray. After that, I needed to now go back upstairs where I did my urine sample to get my blood drawn. Mind you, I did my urine sample earlier than I should have, earlier in the morning, because I needed to urinate at the time. But usually you would do the urine sample and the blood work same time. It's the same nurse does it, it's the same division upstairs. But because I had done it backward. I had to go back upstairs to do my blood work, to get my blood drawn. Luckily, when I went up there, everybody had already done their blood work. So I went up. I made sure that my urine sample and my blood work will go in the same thing. And both of them had the number 28 and my name written on them. So she took my blood. It hurt. But she took the blood and then told me to go back downstairs. By this time now at 3 o'clock, I went downstairs and almost everybody that came to do the medical that day had to do those 2 additional vaccines. So they said the chickenpox one I got because I've never had it, and the tetanus now is like a booster shot, they said. So I had to do that. So I had to go back to the nurse to do the vaccines. She told me that the chickenpox vaccine is actually 2. I will get 1 on that day, and then 4 weeks later I should get the other. Or if I go to America before 4 weeks time, I should get the vaccine before I enter America. Yeah, so once she gave me my vaccines, she gave me a new medical record sheet. So the little blue vaccination immunization card that we Jamaicans have, they transferred everything to sheets of paper, staple them together, and they tell you this is now your new vaccine required sheet, and this is what you will use when you go to America. So when I go back, I used the little blue immunization card again. So yeah, that was it. It was a long day. I'm tired, I'm fatigued. I just couldn't wait to get home, but I was happy to get it done because that meant it's another step closer to my visa interview, which I will be talking to you guys about in the next video. All right, guys? So I hope this video was useful. I hope it was informative. If there's any questions, as usual, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Remember to like the video, share the video, and if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Love you guys. See you in my next one.